Greetings, everyone. I wanted to do something completely different and inspirational. We're in time of revolution. There's no going back to whatever we once knew as far as our lifestyles were concerned. That's all going to be gone. We're either going to have the greatest uprising ever been seen in history, or we're going to have a dystopian nightmare. And I think music always plays a massive part in revolutions, and I think this particular band, Public Enemy, they probably were made for this time. And so, anyway, I got to thinking because somebody took my voice, I'll show it to you afterwards, but somebody took my voice and from my interview with Alfred Weber, which I did last week or whenever, and they chopped it up and put it to music. It's kind of like a biblical kind of music, but it's actually quite powerful, I think. But anyway, it got me thinking that during this whole shutdown, lockdown situation, another way that we could communicate is if people were to take people's speeches about the fact that coronavirus is a hoax and turn it into music. And you could, because they're talking about cutting off the communications, water and electricity and what have you. So another way that we could get the message out if we find ourselves in that situation, God forbid that, hopefully lawyers will come, and actually fight for us and go to the courts on our behalf and get these orders overturned, because it affects them as well. Unless you're in the cabal, then that's different. But we need like lawyers to team up and do that. But what we can do as creative people, I'm a guitarist, I'm a musician, I'm an artist, I'm a producer, but I don't have my guitars with me, which is really kind of, oh, it's awful for me. I play every day and it's like really hard not having my guitars with me. But yeah, so uh, basically, I'm in a situation where I'm moving from place to place, so I can't physically make music myself. Anyway, but I just wanted to share with you because it's a powerful tool that we have. And if you people out there that are musicians, rappers, whatever, were to create some tracks that were in this kind of vein, you know, um, sort of quite, revolutionary, with the music really powerful enough that it would sort of spread the energy, high frequency energy, because what they've done is created a lot of fear. I mean, it's so horrific what is going on that people are overwhelmed. And I get that, I've been climatized because I've been dealing with it for 17 years. And so I'm kind of adjusted to it, even though that's kind of, it's awful. It's an awful thing to adjust to, especially for me as a woman, I'm not particularly masculine in any way. To, I just have to be strong to deal with it. Anyway, this particular album, let me make it bigger. All right. So this particular album, It Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back, is from the soundtrack to the movie by Spike Lee called Do the Right Thing. Can't remember, it was in the 90s when it came out. Awesome film. But the point is that like right now we are public enemy. They're targeting all of us. I used to tell people you're all targeted. It's not just me who's targeted. You're all targeted. And so we need to come back at this on a level, on a powerful level, which is spiritually, we are powerful beings when it comes to spirituality. So I just wanted to share this and share with you some really good tracks that could inspire you. I'm not saying use their tracks, I'm saying create fresh tracks, you know, um, sampling people who are talking about coronavirus being a hoax. Maybe you put multiple people's voices who are saying it rather than it just being one person. Get some of the information out there and maybe drive around your neighborhood, north, south, east, wherever you are in the world, get to work if you're musicians and start using your craft for this, because I think this band were made for such a time as this. So let me show you a few more albums that I think are really cool. And I'm actually going to make some more of these because I got a massive music library of every kind of music. This is just one genre. Obviously, this is rap. I will show you something else that isn't. It's more kind of jazzy. But the point is, we need music that's powerful, that people can go into the streets in their cars who've got boom boxes and blast it everywhere so that people can hear that there's no coronavirus. Do you know what I mean? They can hear it, and because some people are in their house, they're locked down, they're isolated under quarantine, they're very vulnerable. So we need people to be driving around the streets because if they lock down the communication, we ain't going to have very many ways to communicate with each other. So that's a very powerful tool that we have. So let me come out of here. Wait a minute. I'll show you another track. Okay, this is another album of Public Enemy, which is called Apocalypse 91, The Enemy Strikes Black. I'll make it bigger. Right. Hopefully you can see that okay. Yeah, and so this particular track is called Can't Trust It. Can't Trust It, basically. Yeah, and it's like the media, you can't trust them. There are certain people, politicians. There's no government, right? My cousin was murdered, right? And in March of 2019, and up to today, there's not one police officer that's come to me. My flat has been broken into. Not one police officer has done anything. We have over 80 crime reports in relation to my case alone. So there ain't no government. There isn't. These people been taken over by the deep state, the shadow government. They're the ones that are pulling the strings. The people up there are just actors. They just do as they're told. That's what I think. And a lot of them probably do it to ransom, you know what I mean? So we're living in a dread time. So everybody's got to chip in. And I think musicians have a very powerful role to play within the revolution. It's always been that way, always will be that way. So this is a great band as far as revolutionary music because it's got power, it's got message, it's got frequency, and it charges you up. So I want to show you a couple of other albums from them. Okay, welcome to the Terror Dome. I mean, come on now. This is the Terror Dome where we're dealing with right now. I mean, everything we're seeing is the Terror Dome. So this is really inspirational. As I said, I'm not suggesting anybody to sample Public Enemy. Have to get the rights from them, Chuck D, or Professor Griff, or any of these people. But yeah, I would say that this is another track that is highly inspirational from them. So check it out. I'll find you another. They've got so many albums. Okay, yeah, this track is called Don't Believe the Hype. That's like with this corona stuff. They're trying to ram it down our throats. Wait a minute. I don't want to play it. Yeah, they're trying to make the lie stick. They're coming up with all different ways to make the lie stick. But everybody knows now, well, not everybody, but a lot of people know that it's a lot of hogwash. And so we need to let the people that are kind of still believing it, because they don't want to know that people are that evil that would be doing what they're doing. And you see, there's a tug of war because the people that are doing this, they don't want people to know that they're doing this, but at the same time, they want to do it. So it's all done with plausible deniability in the sense that they just want to deceive people that what they're seeing, they're not seeing. And because they think people are dumb, basically, they think you're all dumb, you know. Actually, it was on the front cover that apparently we are inferior as a melanated people, even though we've created the most inventions in the world. And they steal from us. They've been stealing from us forever. You know, I'm not saying because there's melanated people in this crime ring as well, so it's not a black and white thing. Some of the key players are actually black and white, so there you go. And when you see all the different governments of the world talking about this corona and that, you know, they're all in on it, but some of them I think are probably threatened and they're terrified because these people are crazy, they will do anything. So, you know, it takes a lot of courage for people to come forward. So I always commend people who come forward. But yeah, so this is a very good track. Don't believe the hype. We need messages like that. Again, this is the album. It takes the nation's millions to hold us back. I like the artwork as well of this. Now this tune is a classic. This is like the epitome of the message when you hear this one and the power, the frequency. I mean, this is one of the greatest bands of all time, in my opinion, because they literally, I mean, it was in the 90s when I was in my early 20s, and at the time, I mean, I just think they just struck a chord with everybody. And so I would definitely recommend listening to this track. Most of you probably know it. Okay, so anyway, you get the gist. Again, this tune is called Shut 'Em Down. Um, all right. So I think I'm definitely going to do a series of this because there's so many revolutionary artists that have done wonderful music that is worthy of being recognized in this little forum of mine. So let me show you this other tune. Wait a minute. There's a really, really cool tune. Now, this is more jazzy. But Donald Byrd is a legend. He's an amazing, amazing, amazing musician. And let me make it bigger. Wait a minute. Hopefully it will. Come on. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So this track is called Design a Nation, and I like the message of that. Stepping into tomorrow. That's what we're doing, right? We're going into a whole new era. It's a whole new day, and we've got to be the ones to steer the course. Music will help create the pulse. It is a revolution. That's how you have to think of this situation. We have to start channeling the message of, you know, revolution, change, where we want to be as a humanity. We don't want to be living with false flags every day, people threatening to murder us because we say we don't want to be abused and they think they got the right to abuse us, so you know they want to shut us up. This is what's going on. I mean, I've been dealing with this for the longest time, and I'm just one person, you know, and obviously I'm a woman, even though I have a warrior kind of spirit, you know, but I'm a peaceful person. If I have to fight for my life and fight for my family, I will do. You know what I mean? I love my family, even though a lot of them don't understand it, what's going on. But yeah, I mean, my life is on the line very pretty much. You know, every day they're trying to murder me. And so I have no choice but to speak, you know. And I don't want to live like that. I don't want to live like that. So we have to change it. We have to steer this machine because obviously they've got the bigger tools. They can make the most noise. But the thing is, their noise doesn't last because it's based on lies, it's based on wickedness, it's based on things that people shouldn't have to be dealing with. Whereas the message of love, truth, justice, peace. It will always be an eternal message that people want to hear. That's why artists like Marley, Fela Kuti, and there's also many artists that came along, John Lennon. There's a lot of people that made music with that vein. And so there's a lot of you out there who are the next generation. So I mean, they've controlled the music industry so much, and so now we have to steer the course. This is cool because it's a different type of energy, but the message again, there's no lyrics with this. It's just music.